Are present here and those who are following us on social media. Welcome to the historic St. Anne's Fort, headquarters of the Barbados Defense Force and a part of historic Bridgetown and its garrison, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the Pass Out Parade for Recruit Intake 1 of 2023. I am Captain Michael Jules, and I will be assisted this afternoon by Lieutenant Coast Guard Sean Hazelwood and Second Lieutenant Lisa Holmes as your parade commentators.
The recruits are being marched onto the parade square under the command of the conducting warrant officer, Master Chief Petty Officer Class 2, Sean Bess, to the tune of Sons of the Brave, composed by T. Bidgood. The troops are being accompanied by the Barbados Defense Force Band, led by the band's drum major, Color Sergeant Charles Rouse. There are 2 platoons of recruits who will be passing out this afternoon. Petty Officer Troy Daniel commands the number 1 platoon, whilst Platoon 2 is commanded by Sergeant Dwayne Bruce. This is your first opportunity of several this afternoon, where you will be invited to show your support to these recruits who will shortly be starting their promising careers as members of the Barbados Defense Force. Let's give a round of applause to the recruits.
The recruits will now be dressed by 3 non-commissioned officers. Dressing the front rank is Leading Seaman Pollard R. Dressing the center rank is Corporal Rooms L. And dressing the rear rank is Corporal Belgrave A.
You cannot be there. You gotta move now so that the police can be here. So you gotta pay that police. So you gotta anyway.
The conducting warrant officer this evening is Master Chief Petty Officer Class 2, Sean Best, who has been a member of the Barbados Defense Force for the past 23 years. He has held several appointments, which include Small Boat Coxswain, Training Chief, Unit Quartermaster Sergeant, Divisional Chief Administrative Division, and Divisional Chief Operations Division of the Barbados Coast Guard. He attended and conducted training both locally and internationally to include Antigua and Barbuda, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, England, and the United States of America. He's a Level 4 CVQ assessor for the Technical and Vocational Educational Training Council of Barbados. He recently completed the Barbados Defense Force Warrant Officers course and holds a Level 4 CVQ in management. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for the parade conducting warrant officer, Master Chief Petty Officer Class 2, Sean Best.
This young gentleman here will put me to his seat.
I ain't gonna cross that way, man.
So that is passing on.
You know what I mean?
You gonna go on the way to the right side.
They want room.
Oh, this young gentleman will see you. Alright, it says DED.
That what we be seeing, because we be shooting is what people pass in front of them.
You will notice that two officers are now making their way onto the passing line in preparation to fall in and take over command of their platoons. Second Lieutenant Tevin Maynard, number 1 platoon commander, and Second Lieutenant Chad Walker, number 2 platoon commander.
The conducting warrant officer now prepares to hand over the parade to the parade commander, Lieutenant Ramar Haynes.
Good evening, sir. I am Master Chief Class 2, Sean Bess, conducting warrant officer. Parade comprise 1 warrant officer, 2 senior non-commissioned officers, 12 junior non-commissioned officers, and 54 recruits in open order at the shoulder and awaiting the pleasure of your instruction. Sir, please.
Carry on!
Lieutenant Haynes enlisted in the Barbados Defense Force in 2015 as a member of the Barbados Regiment Reserves before transitioning to the full-time element of the force in 2016. He attended many courses both locally and internationally, to include Platoon Commander's Course in Guyana, Infantry Command Course in the People's Republic of China, Range Officer Course with the British Army Training and Support Unit in Belize. He currently holds a postgraduate certificate of competence in risk crisis and disaster management, a Bachelor of Science degree in human resource management, and a Master of Science degree with distinction in labor and employment relations. During his military career, he has held several appointments, to include Platoon Commander Special Operations Company, and both Platoon Commander and Training Officer at the Barbados Defense Forces Training and Development Institute. He currently serves as the second in command of the 2nd Special Operations Company. As the outgoing officer in charge of the Training and Development Institute, he has been given the honor to be the parade commander for this evening's parade. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon's parade commander, Lieutenant Ramar Haynes. The parade commander now falls in the officers.
Yes, sir.
The next phase of the parade will be the arrivals. The first arrivals will be the commanding officers of the various units of the Barbados Defense Force. We acknowledge the arrival of Commander David Dorridge, Commandant of the Barbados Cadet Corps, Major Pedro Drakes, Commanding Officer of the Barbados Regiment, and Lieutenant Commander Derek Brathwaite, Commanding Officer Acting, Barbados Coast Guard. We now acknowledge the arrival of the Senior Command of the Barbados Defense Force, Commander Mark Peterson, Staff Advisor to the Chief of Staff, and Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Lovell, Military Advisor to the Chief of Staff.
Right! Right!
Please stand for the arrival of Commodore Arrington Sherlin, Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Honorable Dale Marshall, Attorney General of Barbados, the reviewing officer for this afternoon's parade, and kindly remain standing until the start of the inspection. The parade commander will now report the state of the parade to the reviewing officer and invite him to inspect recruit intake 1 of 2023.
Good evening, sir. I am Lieutenant Romar Haynes, Parade Commander for this Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023 Passing Out Parade. The parade comprises 3 commissioned officers, 1 warrant officer, 2 senior non-commissioned officers, 12 junior non-commissioned officers, and 54 recruits. Also on parade is the band of the Barbados Defense Force. The parade is formed up at the open order and awaiting the pleasure of your inspection, sir, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the reviewing officer returns to the saluting days and as the parade commander seeks permission to carry on with the remainder of the parade.
May I have your permission to carry on with the remainder of the parade? Sir, please.
Please be seated. Drill is indeed an essential facet of all militaries. It is intended to produce a soldier who is proud, alert, and obedient, whilst also forming the basis of discipline and teamwork. The parade will now prepare for the march past in slow and quick time and paying of compliments to the reviewing officer. In slow time, In slow time, they will march past to the tune Major Minor, composed by the Barbados Defense Force Band Director of Music, Captain Brian Cole, who is directing the band this afternoon. And in quick time, The Few and the Faithful, composed by Sergeant Laura Payne. Commanding the number 1 platoon is Second Lieutenant Tevin Maynard. He joined the ranks of the Barbados Defense Force in August of 2019 through the Officer Cadet University Scholarship Program. On completion of his studies, he pursued his basic officer training in Georgia, USA, where he successfully completed the Infantry Basic Officer Leadership course at the U.S. Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Infantry School. Second Lieutenant Maynard holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science and History and is currently pursuing a Master of Science degree in E-Governance for Developing States. He is a proud graduate of the Parkinson Memorial School. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 Platoon Commander, Second Lieutenant Tevin Maynard. Commanding the number 2 platoon is Second Lieutenant Chad Walker. He enlisted in the Barbados Defense Force in May 2018 and was placed in the Communication and Information Systems platoon, where he started his career as a signaler. During his time there, he was top student on the regular radio users course and also successfully completed the Harris radio course and the Barbados amateur radio course. Second Lieutenant Walker successfully completed his infantry officer training at the Caribbean Military Academy in the arduous hills of Newcastle, Jamaica. On his return to Barbados in 2022, he was assigned as platoon commander at Special Operations Company, a post which he still holds. He is a recipient of a humanitarian medal and a Chief of Staff commendation, and is also a proud graduate of the Combermere School. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Chad Walker. A number of our fellow CARICOM military brothers in arms served as instructors on Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023. We take this opportunity to acknowledge from the Jamaica Defense Force, Corporal Krishna Romes and Lance Corporal Jerome Smith, and from the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, Lance Corporal Gary Davidson and Lance Corporal Dion Reed. A hearty round of applause for our visiting instructors. What an impressive display by the recruits. Let's give them another round of applause.
The Reverend Esther Willoughby, member of the Barbados Defense Force chaplaincy team, will now deliver the invocation.
Right, left, hands, forward, grenade, ice.
A pleasant good evening to all. Grace, peace, and mercy be unto you. Almighty God, creator of all things, giver of every good and perfect gift, we humbly bow before your sacred throne this evening. We give you thanks for the past, present, and future blessings. Gracious God, we bring these 54 recruit intake 1 of 2023, who have been successful in their course of training over the past 4 months. It was not easy, but they persevered. Give them the strength and courage for the various tasks that lie ahead of them. When they are tempted to wonder if certain tasks are insurmountable, remind them, Lord, that you are not senile, asleep, or defeated. Grant them wisdom and understanding as they look to you for guidance and direction in all of their pursuits. We thank you for the instructors who will have given of their best in conducting the rigorous training for these recruits. May you reward them for their labor of love. And now, Lord, we bring parents, guardians, family members, and friends who would have given great support to these young people on this past out parade this evening. May they continue to support them in their endeavors. Continue to bless the Barbados Defense Force as it strives for excellence. May it stand out like a beacon carrying the flagship locally and internationally. Bless the governor of Barbados in all of its pursuits, having you at the helm. And now, Lord, bless this evening proceedings. May your love, peace, and protection be with us now and forevermore. These mercies we ask in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Right, right,
I now invite Commander Mark Peterson, Staff Advisor to the Chief of Staff, to deliver welcome remarks.
right, grenade, ice.
Permanent Secretary acting. As were the Honorable Dale Marshall, Attorney General of Barbados, a member of the Defense Board, Permanent Secretary Acting of the Prime Minister's Office, Ms. Paula Bayer, the Most Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force Commodore Ayrton Sherlin, Service Chiefs and respective heads of department, Military Advisor to the Chief of Staff, Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Lovell, Commandant Officers, Commandant and Officers of the Barbados Defense Force, retired Chiefs of Staff and Deputy Chiefs of Staff, 4 Sergeant Major, Master Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Austin Ricardo Howell, 1 Officer, Senior NCOs, enlisted ranks and civilian staff of the Barbados Defense Force, the extended Barbados Defense Force family, the families and friends of those who serve, distinguished ladies and gentlemen present and joining via online platforms, graduates of Recruit Intake 1 of 2023, members of the media, pleasant good afternoon. I am Commander Mark Peterson, the Staff Advisor to the Chief of Staff, and it gives me great pleasure to extend to you all greetings and a warmest welcome on behalf of the Chief of Staff and members of the Barbados Defense Force. We consider this a privilege to have you here at the headquarters of the Barbados Defense Force, a site that has the honor of being part of the United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site of Bridgetown and its garrison. It is an absolute honor to stand before you today as we celebrate the remarkable achievements of these graduating recruits. This momentous occasion marks the culmination of their tireless dedication and unwavering commitment to serving our great nation. Firstly, I wish to extend a special welcome to the Honorable Attorney General of Barbados, a member of the Defense Board. Sir, we are indeed honored that you consented to be the reviewing officer and to deliver the feature address. I thank you in advance on behalf of the entire force, all those assembled here, and all those participating virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we are gathered to commemorate a very special occasion, one which will be forever etched in the minds of the newest additions to the military profession and the Barbados Defense Force family. On Sunday, the 9th of July, 2023, we welcomed 84 proverbial raw pieces of clay and sought to transform them from rude matter into due form, mold them into the finest products of pottery, having been pressed into shape by the skilled hands of the training team and hardened through the intensity of military training in various skills and disciplines. To the graduating recruits, congratulations on reaching this pivotal milestone in your military journey. Retired United States Army General Colin Powell said, I quote, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work," end quote. Those attributes are undoubtedly what got you to this culminating point. Each one of you has demonstrated exceptional courage, discipline, and resilience throughout your training. And today, we celebrate your transformation into true defenders of our nation. Today's graduation is not just a personal achievement, but a reflection of the collective effort, sacrifice, and determination that has been poured into your development. I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the skilled instructors, officers, and dedicated personnel who have invested their time and expertise in shaping you into the outstanding individuals that you have become. We must acknowledge the unwavering support of your loved ones, the families and friends who have stood by your side, offering encouragement and understanding during the challenging moments. This ceremony is testament to their patience, love, and unrelenting belief in your abilities, so do not disappoint them. As you take your next step into the world of military service, remember that you are now part of a long and illustrious tradition of brave men and women who have dedicated their lives to protecting our nation. You are inheritors of a legacy built on honor, integrity, and sacrifice, and it is your responsibility to uphold and surpass these noble ideals. Our nation looks to each one of you as future leaders, defenders, and protectors. With the skills and knowledge you have acquired, we trust that you will serve with distinction, courage, and steadfast loyalty. Embrace the challenges ahead, for it is through adversity that true character is forged. So, on behalf of everyone present here today, I extend a heartfelt congratulations to the graduating recruits. You have proven yourselves worthy of this honor, and we have no doubt that you have excelled or you will excel in your future endeavors. May your journey be filled with success, camaraderie, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Thank you, and may we all stand together in gratitude and admiration for these remarkable individuals who will now shape the future of the force and our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed pleased to see so many of you here this afternoon. And on behalf of the Chief of Staff and members of the force, we bid you a very cool afternoon, a warm welcome to St. Anne's Fort and to this parade to commemorate the entry of these fine 54 young men and women of Barbados into the ranks of the illustrious Barbados Defense Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Commander Peterson. The recruits will now be marched off the parade square in preparation for their displays. Parents, guardians, and well-wishers, we're going to give you another opportunity to show your support for our newest recruits. Captain Drina Marshall, PhD, Curriculum Development Officer of the Barbados Defense Force Training and Development Institute, will now deliver the first part of the course report.
the Honorable Dale Marshall, SC, NP, Attorney General of Barbados, and member of the Defense Board, Permanent Secretary, Acting, Prime Minister's Office, Ms. Paula Bayer, the Most Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostate, Chief of Staff, Barbados Defense Force, Commodore Ayrton Sherlin, Service Chiefs and respective heads of departments, Military Advisor to the Chief of Staff, Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Lovell, Staff Advisor to the Chief of Staff, Commander, I have promoted you, sir. Commanding officers, Commandant, and officers of the Barbados Defense Force, retired Chiefs of Staff and Deputy Chief of Staff, 4 Sergeant Major, Master Chief Petty Officer, Class 1, Austin Howell, warrant officers, senior NCOs, enlisted ranks, and civilian staff of the Barbados Defense Force, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, graduates of the Recruiting Intake 1 of 2023, members of the media, good afternoon. I am Captain Dr. Drina Marshall, and I have the distinct honor and privilege to deliver this course report for Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023, which also acts as a snapshot of the academic achievement, the instructional contributions, and the success stories of the Recruit Training Program. The Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023 commenced on the 28th of July for 16 weeks with an intense and grueling, but a very high caliber curriculum. As we at the BDF TDI continue to transform our training and education continuum, our significant improvements are indicated by the physically fit, disciplined, and military skill recruits passing out today. Current graduation rates seem appropriate, given that 87 recruits started the program and 54 proud persons reached the end of this first journey with an overall retention rate of 82%. Operating with the ethos to train in rather than select out, all recruits who started the training were encouraged and supported towards this moment. By placing the responsibility on the recruits to be more actively engaged in their training, enabled exceptionally well performance in their various learning activities. As we continue to move into the 21st century education and training, we were able to rethink the previous ways we trained recruits by dismantling existing models and building a new competency-based approach. Our goals were ambitious and far-reaching, but they were met. We at the BDF TDI are proud to present to you a group of individuals who now have a strong foundation in military knowledge, complemented with physical fitness, supported by the technical and military skills necessary to perform their duties with efficiency and professionalism in this complex and diverse military operation. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023. They're coming on to the square now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be treated to 2 exciting displays by the recruits. The first display will be a drill display. Please note that during both displays, there will be loud explosions. The recruits are being marched on by Petty Officer Troy Daniel, Senior NCO in charge of the drill display and a certified drill instructor. Petty Officer Daniel will now come forward and seek permission from the reviewing officer to continue with the drill display.
Good evening, sir. I am 0122387, Petty Officer Daniel T., Senior Non-Commissioned Officer in charge of today's drill display. The display consists of 1 Senior Non-Commissioned Officer and 33 recruits, formed up in 3 ranks at the open order. May I have your permission to carry on with the drill display? So please.
Each movement that will be displayed before you today represents an aspect of the training that the recruits covered during the last 16 weeks of training. The formation you see is referred to as the arrowhead. This formation is used as a means of moving on a broad front across open ground. We now see the X. This formation pays homage to the final exercise, the intake completed after undergoing a series of rigorous training exercises leading up to the culminating field exercise. They have now formed the infinity symbol, representing the insignia used by the Barbados Defense Forces Training and Development Institute, which bears the motto Infiniti Sapienti, which means infinite wisdom. It also represents one of the 8 basic knots which they learned during the amphibious phase held at the Barbados Coast Guard. The recruits will now form an inner and outer cordon. This formation shown is one used when conducting cordon and search operations. It offers mutual support, all-round defense, and requires good coordination. We now see the all-round defense. This is a tactical formation once used for platoon harboring drills done in the field, where the platoon commander, platoon sergeant, and radio operator would be situated in the center. The circle you now see represents the life ring, which is used to rescue a person in distress while engaged in water-based activities, which some of them encountered during the amphibious phase at the Barbados Coast Guard. For the final piece, the intake will showcase the skill and formation used when getting into a patrol vehicle after vehicle anti-ambush drills. Additionally, they will showcase the marksmanship aspect of the training they covered.
Squad, General, salute. Present. Arms. Shoulder. Arms. Evening, sir. The drill display has been completed. May I have your permission to march the drill squad off the square? Sir, please. All to the right in case. Right. Turn. Final up. Quick march.
A magnificent drill display by the recruits. This is solid evidence that lots of learning occurred over the past 16 weeks. What we have just witnessed is testimony to their hard work, commitment, and dedication. Let's give these recruits another rousing round of applause. We will now have the tactics display. Please be reminded that there will also be loud explosions in this display. The Barbados Defense Force, for over 4 decades, has ensured that every soldier is equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary in the area of tactics and counterinsurgency to effectively respond to any task assigned by the government of Barbados, whether locally or abroad. These operations range from humanitarian assistance to public order and counterinsurgency operations. On display this evening will be a snippet of some of the tactical skills the recruits will have learned over the last 16 weeks of basic training. You may ask, who are these men that you see before you? There are elements of a group disgruntled with the government. Having been tasked by HQ BDF to disperse this unruly rabble, we can see the public order platoon taking formation and seeking to disperse this crowd. The commander had given instructions for the crowd to disperse, but as we witnessed, this all was ignored. Furthermore, the crowd has become more violent and loud. The commander, with no cooperation from the rioters, escalates the force of his platoon by advancing towards the rioters using non-lethal means in order to quell the unrest. At this stage, the commander deploys CS gas, better known as cherry syrup. This causes confusion among the rioters. Additionally, this allows the commander the opportunity to detain the ringleader. Having seen this, the rioters opened fire on the public order platoon, forcing the commander to radio HQ for a quick reaction team who seems entity. On their arrival at the scene, they immediately come under heavy fire. Members return fire and proceed to take cover behind the vehicle. The team becomes quickly pinned down and calls for additional support. If you look over to the direction of the Hilton, you will see security forces have just landed on the roof and will now rappel down to engage the insurgents. At this point, the insurgents are confused and overwhelmed by the fire support and skills of the security forces. this allows teams the opportunity to advance and neutralize the insurgents. After winning the firefight, ground forces have formed an all-round defense, and the commander has sent out a search party to gather any key information from the area. Having completely cleared the area, the commander orders the team to ambush and tactically withdraws from the scene. Ladies and gentlemen, a hearty round of applause for the display teams of Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023. Another round of applause to the displays, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Adrena Marshall will now complete the report.
Commander Mark Peterson, Staff Advisor to the Chief of Staff, once said, "A teaspoon of sweat in training saves a bucket of blood in war." You will just witness firsthand the results of the recruits' competencies and skills of drill, internal security, and tactics. Your resounding applause is truly one of the best awards to commend the journey of these recruits. You may applaud again. Thank you. Phase 1 of their training focused on developing their physical fitness, basic knowledge, and unit cohesion. Further training covered everything from first aid to rank structure to map reading. During the initial period, success rates increased from 56 to 65% with fluctuations in the intervening months. During the second phase of training, we moved towards wargaming with the intent to stimulate aspects of warfare at the tactical level. You will have just witnessed this operation. As expected, the learning outcomes for this aspect of training were within the 85th percentile as the recruits showed great enthusiasm in this aspect of training. The recruits also got to meet their new best friend, the M16A1 rifle, where they were required to repeatedly disassemble, clean, reassemble, and drill until handling the rifle became second nature. At this time, the recruits also began to focus on the learning foundations of marksmanship, which led to a healthy competition to derive the award for best shot. During this time, the recruits remained hardened by physical training and continue to demonstrate cohesion. By introducing technical training embraced by 3 arduous field training exercises with the added weight of their backpack, flat jacket, helmet, and weapons, the recruits were able to experience a defining feature of weapons and field training for battalions. The process of military training, and in particular, inculcating these young civilians into the military culture, was not a single event, but a tedious process. It required hard work, dedication, commitment, and trust, as these values are indeed the ingredients of military training. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, military service inherently attracts those with a level of courage and perseverance that makes them natural leaders. Integrity first, service before self, commitment to excellence. These are the values that make up our identity. I thank you. Continue to enjoy your evening.
The recruits will now return to the parade square for the next phase of the parade, which is the presentation of awards and the feature address.
Tree. And number 2 detachment back. Hey. Stand still. Lower right. Wide eyes. Fruit.
During the period of recruiting, the recruits were assessed in several areas to track their progress and to determine their suitability to join the ranks of the Barbados Defense Force. This afternoon, awards will be presented to those recruits who were adjudged as the top performers in the following categories: Best at Marksmanship, Best at Fitness, male and female, Best amongst peers, Best at Drill, Best at Academics, runner-up Best Recruit, and Best Recruit. I now invite Commodore Arrington Sherlin, Chief of Staff, Barbados Defense Force, to present the first set of awards. Best at Marksmanship. This recruit achieved the highest average score in both the pistol and rifle marksmanship tests and was consistent in his application of fire in all other range practices. The award for Best at Marksmanship goes to 2324152 recruit Narayan Mears S. Please feel free to give applause to the awardees. Best at Physical Fitness, female and male. These recruits demonstrated a superior level of fitness throughout the course and were deemed best at fitness. This was determined by assessing their muscular strength, muscular endurance, and cardiovascular ability. The award for Best at Fitness Female goes to W1823908 recruit Joseph M. The award for Best at Physical Fitness Male goes to 2324148 recruit Maloney D. Best amongst peers, This recruit demonstrated excellent teamwork, motivated his peers, and embodies the spirit of camaraderie. This award was voted for by the recruits. The award for Best Amongst Peers goes to 2324113 Recruit Calendar Z. Best at drill. This recruit received superior scores in his drill assessment, displayed a consistently high standard of deportment, and performed well in the several drill competitions conducted by the drill instructors known as the drill-off. The award for Best at Drill goes to 2324165 Recruit Springer R. Best at academics. Theoretical assessments were done in map reading, fieldcraft, military law, and military general knowledge. This recruit received the highest overall average across all academic subjects. The award for Best at Academics goes to W1823908, Recruit Joseph M. Thank you, Commodore Sherlin, for presenting those awards. I now invite the Honorable Dale Marshall, Attorney General of Barbados, to present the next two awards. Runner-up, Best Recruit. This recruit scored the second highest average score across all subject areas and the showcase of consistently good work. This recruit's overall performance was seen as a true embodiment of the Barbados Defense Force's motto, a symbol of excellence. The award for runner-up best recruit goes to 2324162 Recruit Shepard J. Best recruit. This recruit performed exceptionally well across all subject areas, determined by achieving the highest average score and his showcase of consistently hard work. He also showcased all the core values of the Barbados Defense Force: courage, discipline, respect, integrity, loyalty, selfless service, and commitment to duty. Ladies and gentlemen, the best recruit for Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023 is... Two, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5, 4, recruit Padmore S. Thank you, Attorney General, for presenting those awards, sir. I now invite the Attorney General to deliver the feature address.
Members of the Defense Board, Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force, Commodore Arrington Sherlin, and by the way, sir, congratulations on being recently admitted to the Hall of Fame. Heads or representatives of regional organizations, the Most Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Bostic, heads of government departments, former chiefs and deputy chiefs of staff, retired officers, warrant officers, and enlisted ranks, serving members and families, especially to the Recruit Training Course 1 of 2023, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good afternoon and welcome, whether physically or joining us virtually, to this parade in celebration of the graduation of the Barbados Defense Force's Recruit Training Course number 1 of 2023. First, let me extend my congratulations to each and every one of you And also, congratulations and best wishes on behalf of the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados and Chairman of the Defense Board, who is regrettably overseas. Today, you have reached a significant milestone in your quest for excellence in service to your country. I commend your dedication, discipline, and commitment, and I look forward to hearing great things about this cohort of graduates as you pursue your careers in the BDF. And if your two displays are anything to judge you on, you will have outstanding military careers. The next chapter of your national service journey will soon begin. Small though it may be, the Barbados Defense Force is a professional, strong, and credible army, well respected across the region. It has been the bedrock of Barbados's defense and security for the past 44 years, and it has helped to provide a safe and stable environment for us and for our loved ones to live in. This did not come about by chance or happenstance. Rather, it was through the dedication, sacrifice, and commitment of all those who have served. Every single one of you recruits matters. Each of you will play a significant role in keeping Barbados peaceful and in keeping Barbados prosperous. You stand here proudly, I know, in the footsteps of previous military generations, founded upon the 44-year legacy of the BDF and founded on the reputation of those stalwarts who laid the foundation in the West Indian Regiment and the Barbados Volunteer Force. Those individuals were determined to succeed through hard work, and they did not allow the turbulence or the world wars and the difficulties of the post-independence years to daunt them. They were determined to build a strong and free Barbados so that their children, their grandchildren, and perhaps you, their great-great-grandchildren, could grow up in a safe and secure Barbados. That is why, as a country, we honor them with such reverence as Remembrance Day. And I urge the recruits who are graduating from the recruit training course today to carry on this spirit in the defense of our nation. The world we live in has become complex, and in many ways it has become uncertain. The threats we face today are very different from those faced by our predecessors. And you must be ready to stand and face and conquer these new and evolving challenges. The training, knowledge, and skills you have acquired in this training program will equip you to navigate the complexities that lie ahead. Your courage and determination will be tested, I know, but I also know that you will rise to the occasion just as generations before you have done. Each of you can and will contribute to a strong Barbados Defense Force, a defense force that remains nimble, sharp, and ever ready to conduct a range of operations at a moment's notice. Most people do not realize this, but the Barbados Defense Force is an operational force. In the past few years, the men and women of the BDF have contributed to several security, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief missions locally and regionally. At home, over the past year, the force has worked closely with the Barbados Police Service on patrols to rid this country of the scourge of illegal firearms, for example. This collaboration resulted in the Barbados Regiment participating in patrols which seized weapons, ammunition, and marijuana plants while arresting 17 persons. These combined efforts build public confidence in both organizations and serve as deterrents to acts of crime and reduce the overall level of gun crime in particular. The Joint Patrol Program has set favorable conditions to enable additional strategies to be employed by the police service. On the regional front, the BDF deployed 40 persons under the auspices of the regional security system to assist the government of St. Lucia in deterring gang activity after the country recorded a spike in crime and violence over a 16-week period. The Honorable Prime Minister has signaled her intent to support our CARICOM neighbor Haiti as well. As you're well aware, the situation in Haiti has been evolving rapidly, marked by political instability, rampant and uncontrolled gang activity, and economic challenges. This tumultuous environment has led to an increase in crime rates, civil unrest, and a general sense of insecurity among the population. Recognizing the gravity of the situation and the potential implications for the wider Caribbean region, the Council of Ministers of the Regional Security System has been discussing the best way that we can assist Haiti. And we have pledged, ladies and gentlemen, to provide security assistance through the RSS so long as the situation in Haiti stabilizes and some political balance is returned. On the maritime front, the Barbados Coast Guard continues its coordinated maritime patrols within the northern and southern sectors of the RSS's area of responsibility. This is, of course, in addition to its patrols of our maritime space, some of which resulted in the interdiction of 1,503 kilograms of marijuana with an estimated street value of over $12 million. The BDF was also able to execute each task successfully only because its people are committed, professional, and ready to answer the call of duty. As the government of Barbados pursues its agenda for our blue economy, I expect that the Barbados Coast Guard will continue to play a critical role in the protection of our interests, ably supported by the tactical resources of the regional security system. Even though Barbados is an island, and we generally think of ourselves in those small terms, we generally forget that it means that it is also a maritime state. And Barbados has a maritime space that is 424 times the size of its land space. Imagine, if you will, the economic potential of the vast amount of untapped resources available within that space. It is against this backdrop that I therefore anticipate a reinvestment in the Coast Guard in order that they can help us to protect the living and non-living resources in our maritime space for generations to come. Having reflected on a few of the achievements of the BDF over the past year, I am minded to look forward. I am very cognizant of the emerging threats to cybersecurity, and the adverse effects of climate change. These all threaten the population's health, food, and water security, and have the potential to disrupt livelihoods. As we gather here today, it is important to reflect on the world we live in. We are facing unprecedented challenges, particularly in the realm of climate change. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and indirect economic consequences are also presenting significant threats not also to our environment, but also to our national security. As the next generation of military professionals, you will play a critical role in addressing these challenges head-on. Climate change has far-reaching implications for our armed forces, both domestically and regionally, and it requires us to adapt and to implement resilience-building measures to ensure the long-term sustainability and security of all of the region's small island developing states. The battle against climate change cannot be fought alone. International collaboration and support are vital in tackling these security risks effectively, and we must stand together with our global allies, working hand in hand to mitigate the impacts that are the result. These new threats demand a further investment in our people and in our physical plant. The demands placed on the Barbados Defense Force oftentimes outstrip their resources, both human and material. From where I sit as a member of the Defense Board, it is critical that there be some further investment in the force so that you can meet the increasing demands placed upon you. One such investment is my government's commitment to establish a new military facility. This will not only increase the BDF's capabilities, but also create additional career opportunities for young men and women who harbor a deep sense of patriotism and wish to serve their country. We believe in harnessing the potential of our youth, providing them with meaningful roles within our disciplined forces, and nurturing their talents to empower them as future leaders. While this commitment to bolstering our military may generate excitement, remember that the contribution of a new military facility and career paths will shape the destiny of our nation. As you move to the next stage of your training, I hope that you remember the lessons and the friendships formed. Stand tall and proud of your achievements and use these to spur yourselves to greater heights, not just in national service, but throughout your lives. As military professionals, you will embody the values of service, honor, and sacrifice. Your duty is not only to defend our nation's borders, but also to safeguard its future. You are the guardians of our sovereignty, entrusted with the protection of our people, our resources, and our way of life. The Barbados Defense Force, in all its diverse elements, has been a stabilizing, developmental, and educational power within the Barbadian, the regional, and the international community. To the award winners today, I congratulate you on your outstanding performance in this recruit training course. I can tell that you will have outstanding careers as military professionals. I want to congratulate you once more on your remarkable achievements. The road ahead may be challenging, but I have every confidence in your abilities to succeed. And as you embark on this noble journey, remember that you carry the hopes and dreams of a nation on your shoulders. To the parents, the grandparents, the loved ones, the sometimes very loud members of the cheering gallery, I can tell that your support for these fine young men and women knows no bounds. I can tell from your cheers, I can tell from your vibrant behavior, I can tell from the way in which you jump up when your relatives pass by. Many of them have made it through this difficult time, through this very challenging training session, because they knew that you had their backs. Thank you for that support. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, please be assured that the officers, the enlisted ranks, and the civilian staff of the Barbados Defense Force remain committed to the defense and security of Barbados and its citizens against any threat to our sovereignty, against any threat to our territorial integrity, and against any threat to our economic prosperity. I know that the BDF stands ready to make its fullest contribution to the maintenance of a peaceful, secure, and stable environment that is vital to national development. May you always stay true to your purpose, uphold the highest standards of professionalism, and lead by example. Together, let us forge a future that is resilient, sustainable, and secure. I thank you for your patience.
Thank you, sir. When a recruit is reflecting on their basic training, some of his or her worst memories, and perhaps fondest, will be of the instructors. The initial horror of early morning physical training, the endless hours of drill, the time spent racing across the barrack square. Well, in take 1 of 2023, it is finally over. Now is the time for those dreaded and yet respected instructors to pay compliments to you and bid you adieu and best wishes as you join the rank and file of the Barbados Defense Force. We will now witness the ceremonial instructors march off. Lieutenant Ramar Haynes, Officer Commanding Training and Development Institute, and his team of instructors. Second Lieutenant Tevin Leonard, Second Lieutenant Chad Walker, Second Lieutenant Rico Eiffel, and Second Lieutenant Carl Straker, currently on course in Belize. Officer Cadet Brittany Branker White, Warrant Officer Class 2 Timothy Leacock, Master Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Sean Best, Chief Petty Officer Basil Brathwaite, Color Sergeant Hilary Stout, Color Sergeant Akeem Horn, Petty Officer Troy Daniel, Sergeant Dwayne Bruce, Sergeant Kyle Mears, currently on course in Belize, Corporal Alfred Chandler, Leading Seaman Troy Eiffel, Leading Seaman Rohan Pollard, Corporal Krishna Runes, Corporal Sherilyn Hodgerton, Corporal Andrew Hurdle, Leading Seaman Gabrielle Williams, Corporal Ansel Price, Corporal Andre Belgrave, Leading Seaman Shamar Aline, Lance Corporal Renrick Trotman, Able Seaman Javon Wave, Lance Corporal Tiffany Roach, Lance Corporal Melissa Narain, Lance Corporal Devon Earl, Able Seaman Matthew Maxwell, Lance Corporal Jerome Smith, Lance Corporal Christopher Hall, Lance Corporal Gary Davidson, and Lance Corporal Dion Reed. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the recruits are led by Sergeant Dario Pilgrim in reciting the National Pledge.
National Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados, and to my flag, to uphold and defend your honor, and by my living, to do credit to my nation, wherever I go.
You may be seated. Sergeant Daryl Pilgrim will now march off the recruits in preparation for the amalgamation. The amalgamation symbolizes the acknowledgement of these once untrained personnel as having made the standard to be accepted into the rank and file of the Barbados Defense Force. These young men and women are now part of an illustrious institution and will carry on the proud legacy of a force that, whenever called upon, has been able to conduct the many tasks requested of them, from humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to security operations, from military assistance to the civil power to community development. The Barbados Defense Force stands ready, willing, and able. The trained soldiers are being marched onto the parade square under the command of Lieutenant Mark Gemmett. Lieutenant Gemmett enlisted in the Barbados Defense Force in 2002 and rose to the rank of Lance Corporal as a rifleman. In 2005, he transitioned to the Officer Corps. During the period 2007 to 2010, he attended the University of London Officer Training Corps, Basic Officer Course. He is currently Staff Officer Reserves and Civilian and possesses a Bachelor of Arts degree in Architecture from London South Bank University. He is also qualified in Incident Command and Urban Search and Rescue. Lieutenant Jemmett will now seek permission from the Chief of Staff to march the recruits into the ranks of the Barbados Defense Force.
Sir, may I have your permission to march the new recruits into the ranks of the Barbados Defense Force? Sir, please. Please do. Sergeant Major.
The recruits are returning onto the parade square under the command of Warrant Officer Class 2, Azard Weeks. It must be noted that the parade personnel in charge of the troops for the opening phase of the parade were members of the Training and Development Institute, while those for this phase of the parade are drawn from different elements of the full-time force, this further symbolizing the recruits fully becoming a part of the Barbados Defense Force. Ladies and gentlemen, a symbolic moment we have all been waiting for, the amalgamation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advance in review order, the final salute, and the departure of dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the pass-out parade for recruit intake 1 of 2023. On behalf of the Chief of Staff, officers, and enlisted personnel of the Barbados Defense Force, I wish to thank you for joining us both physically and virtually for this afternoon's proceedings. Let's give another rousing round of applause to our new recruits. You can follow the Barbados Defense Force on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where you can be kept abreast of our upcoming events. Speaking of upcoming events, on Sunday, 12 November, you're invited to National Hero Square for the annual Remembrance Day Parade. And on Thursday, 30th November, you're invited to Kensington Oval to join in the celebrations to commemorate the 57th anniversary of Barbados's independence at the Independence Day Parade.
Major, you right?
Boom!
I got an engagement. Playing Sunday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to make your way down to Linwood Hall to join the recruits and soldiers for light refreshments. Do enjoy the remainder of your weekend.